Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy. I'm Christy Down One, and I am back with another video. Yes, sir. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about this latest article. I pulled it up on, I believe the blog is FanCrest. This is a new blog. I've never heard of this blog in my life. I want to say it's a new blog. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to have the article below the description of this video. You guys can decide for yourself and go check out the article. But basically, I read the article, and people are trying to connect the dots with the Kyrie Irving trade and the recent struggles and the turmoil with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, if you've been following me, I uploaded a video yesterday, and the past couple of games, I say about 3 games, I have seen minute improvements, okay? When the Cleveland Cavaliers want to play defense, they'll play defense. It's not lockdown defense. I feel like they need to work a little bit on their team defense, particularly when the other team is penetrating to the hole. That's when, now more than ever, you should have and incorporate team defense. I think Tyronn Lue has pretty much grabbed the pulse of the Cleveland Cavaliers squad and got them and preached to them the importance of defense. Plus the fact that LeBron James is getting kind of heated with his team's performance. He's not going to try to embarrass them on social media. He's going to try to take it out on other things, okay? I believe a couple of nights ago he took it out on the New York Knicks. And he's not going to lash out at the players. But if this becomes more and more of a problem, you're going to start seeing him do the finger pointing LeBron James, where basically he's saying certain players are going to have to step up, and he's going to mention names, okay? So, hasn't gotten to that point, but LeBron James is frustrated. Now, a lot of people think that, well, you know what? If Kyrie Irving was still with the team, they wouldn't be going through a lot of these things. And I'm here to tell you, and I remember talking about this in a live stream. I felt like if you really want to know how good or how bad a team is, all you have to do is just wait in the off season, and when you have players demanding to leave, that's a telltale sign. When Kyrie Irving requested to be traded from the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he did it the right way. He did it privately. He didn't do it through the media. He went to Dan Gilbert. He thought that was a private conversation, and Dan Gilbert immediately ran to LeBron James, which goes to show you how in flux this organization is, okay? Yes, LeBron James is, you know, is a power. He has power and say so in the NBA. He is the top NBA player. But the fact of the matter is, everybody still has to know their role. All right? LeBron James is not an owner. Dan Gilbert is. Dan Gilbert should do things to the organization to make it better, okay? You can't necessarily try to please LeBron James or a player just to see, just so you want them to extend their contract with you, okay? If it really doesn't matter, Dan Gilbert is gambling right now. You know, he doesn't have 100% say. He doesn't know at the end of the season if LeBron James is going to leave him or he's going to stay. All arrows are really pointing to he's going to leave, okay? But that's neither here nor there. But a lot of people feel like if Kyrie Irving was there, the Cleveland Cavaliers would not be in these problems. I think Kyrie Irving will solve some of the problems, but I still don't think Kyrie Irving is going to solve the importance of defense. That's a leadership quality. Normally, the leader of the team emphasized that we need to work hard on the defensive end. Team defense, like I said yesterday, defense, you either want to do it or you don't want to do it. Okay? It's an emotion. All right? It's not something where, let's just face it and let's face facts. A lot of NBA players really don't, wake up in the morning talking about, putting a lot of energy on defense, thinking about defense. Particularly the top NBA stars are more concerned about having their hands on the ball. And the only way you're going to have your hands on the ball in order to involve yourself with the team, and particularly in the W era, is offense. Okay, I'm not saying that they don't care about defense. I just don't think defense is that important in today's NBA. Okay, but with that being said, they still would have struggled on the defensive end. I don't think Kyrie Irving could help them that much on the defensive end. Okay, they still would have these problems. Okay, they will have a point guard. Okay, but that's not their woes. That's not their concern. I mean, that's not a real big issue. The real big issue is the Cleveland Cavaliers can't stop teams from scoring. Okay, and the struggle is real in that department. So when Kyrie Irving left, a lot of people were blaming LeBron James. Okay, I will say this much: I felt like LeBron James could have done a little bit more, but I mean, in trying to convince Kyrie Irving. But I felt like Kyrie Irving's mind was made up on departing from the Cleveland Cavaliers because he saw the writing on the wall. Okay, he went to the Boston Celtics, and if you listen to Steve Kerr, the Boston Celtics are going to be the future of the NBA. They're going to be the Golden State Warriors of the East. They're going to be the powerhouse. The powerhouse. Okay, I think the Boston Celtics are going to return to glory, particularly when you're talking about winning titles and winning championships. Okay, when it's all said and done, when the Golden State Warriors start fading a little bit, when they get a little older, and they can't import more talent, they're kind of stuck with what they have on the roster. The Boston Celtics are going to dethrone them. Okay, now with all that being said, the Cleveland Cavaliers are, as of right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers are still the favorites in the East. Okay, at the end of the day, in a series, in a playoff series, I don't see anybody. I don't see anyone dethroning the Cleveland Cavaliers in a playoff series. I think the Milwaukee Bucks will give them a run for their money. Which, by the way, I told you guys that be on the lookout for them Bucks. Okay, I feel like the Boston Celtics can give them a run for their money, but both of them teams are not going to dethrone the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers have just enough to get by either of those teams. Okay, the Cleveland Cavaliers are really built for the playoffs. They're not built for the season. Okay, and I think that's probably the reason why the Cleveland Cavaliers have these struggles. Okay, When they want to play defense, they can play defense, but it's got to be a want, a desire. And as of right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers feel like they don't have to play defense. They know they're going to the playoffs, and they know once they get there, a lot of a lot of teams in the East are going to have a hard time beating the Cleveland Cavaliers 4 games. Okay? So they're built for the playoffs. They're not built for the marathon. They're built for the track meet. Okay, this is what this team is built for. They're loaded in every position. When everyone's healthy or close to healthy, they got point guard galore. They got shooting guard galore. They got LeBron James and a couple other small forwards, and they got a couple of small forwards that convert to power forward, which makes the power forward position solid. And the center position, when you move Kevin Love to center, you still got Christian Thompson back there. So they're a team that's built for the playoffs. They're not built for the NBA regular season. And I don't think LeBron James care about the regular season, and that's why it kind of infiltrated with the rest of the players on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I just think they feel like, well, we're just gonna the NBA playoffs is just the NBA regular season. We're just gonna just play right through it, and whatever record we have is whatever record we have, and it really doesn't matter if the Cleveland Cavaliers have the #1 spot in the East or the #6 spot in the East. They're still going to beat those other teams. Okay, the other teams in the East is really not a threat to the Cleveland Cavaliers in the East. Now, when they go into the finals, I feel like the Spurs can give the Cleveland Cavaliers a run for their money, and I feel like the Golden State Warriors are going to beat them again. Okay, because of the stuff that's ailing them now. This stuff is going to turn around and bite them in the butt in the finals. Even though you really don't necessarily care about the regular season, still you have to, practice what you preach. Okay. You just can't turn it on and turn it off. And I feel like the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to fall in that trap, similar to like what the Lakers did. When the Lakers had Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal, they felt like they can just turn it on and turn it off. And when they turned it off, they could not turn it back on, particularly when they lost in the finals to the Detroit Pistons. Okay? And I feel like the Cleveland Cavaliers feel that way as well. Oh, well, we can turn it on, we can turn it off. This is not no big deal. Okay? But that's why you play the regular season. You play the regular season so you can be in a habit of good things like defense, team defense, perimeter defense, three-point shooting, free throw shooting, the flow of the offense, chemistry, okay? Chemistry with your fellow players, okay? So with the Cleveland Cavaliers, they have a roster change. They didn't change 1 or 2 players. They changed the whole entire roster, and they moved players around that were accustomed to positions that they played with other teams and what they played last year. Okay, Kevin Love moving to the center position. It's going to take Kevin Love a long time to solidify that position, because Kevin Love is thinking in a mentality perspective of, I'm still a power forward, I'm still a small forward, I'm just in the center position. Okay, I feel like you have to be a different type of animal in the 5 spot. Okay, so it's going to take a while for Kevin Love to understand that role. Okay, Dwayne Wade is on the bench. I feel like Dwayne Wade, the majority of his career, he was always a starter. That takes time. It's hard to, when you had the mentality for so many years as a starter, and now you're being placed on the bench, it's hard to get used to that. Right now, Dwayne Wade thinks that he's a starter. Okay? And the only reason why he's on the bench is because so he can please J.R. Smith. Okay? So you got a lot of things going on, and we haven't even talked about Isaiah Thomas. Whenever Isaiah Thomas comes back, I feel like Isaiah Thomas is going to struggle a little bit. Okay? He's going to have to rebuild himself to his basketball form. And then once he does that, he has to, and he can do all this at the same time, build chemistry with the starters, build chemistry with the backups, okay? And the Cleveland Cavaliers haven't said whether or not he's going to be a starter. Now, everyone's saying that, oh, yeah, he's a starter once he gets fully, gets somewhat healthy. He's going to be implemented in starter role. But by doing that, then how are you going to please Derrick Rose? Okay, Derrick Rose is not going to be happy. Okay, so you got that balance going on, you know? So I feel like it just there's a lot of stuff playing at the decks of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and with 82 games, you can clean that stuff up. But the first thing you have to do is you have to have a commitment of urgency. All right. When there's no urgency, then there's no, well, we need to work on things. Okay. And I feel like the Cleveland Cavaliers have the mentality of, well, we'll just turn it on when the playoffs start. That's when the real season begins. And I feel like that's the mentality of players. Players think that way. Particularly older players. You know, when older players have always been successful throughout their career, they feel like mentally that, you know, we'll just turn it on when it needs to be turned on, which is the playoffs. And I feel like that's a trap. Okay? That's a serious trap that the coach has to make the players aware of. And Tyronn Lue is, and if you can tell for the past 3 games, Tyronn Lue is implementing to these guys, yo, hey guys, look, this is no light switch. We can't turn it on and turn it off. I was on a squad where we thought we can turn it on and turn it off, and it was disastrous for us. So I feel like Tyronn Lue is implementing some things, incorporating things slowly but surely. But with 82 games, what's the rush? I think Tyronn Lue is not really fully committed on trying to get them to understand until he gets the whole roster there. So you're going to see the Cleveland Cavaliers make this transforming change around the time Isaiah Thomas is approved to play basketball. Okay, when he's somewhat healthy, he's not going to be 100% healthy. He'll be close to 100% as possible. But once they incorporate him to the squad, that's when you're going to start seeing Tyronn Lue start fires with a lot of players. And I feel like that's going to be tension with him and LeBron James. All right, Tyronn Lue is going to have to take control of this team once he gets all the horses in the barn. Okay, so midway through this season, you're going to start seeing the Cleveland Cavaliers emphasize more on defense, team defense, perimeter defense, things that this squad should be good at. Okay, the turnovers are going to be cut down because now you got 2 capable point guards where you shouldn't have a problem there with Isaiah Thomas and Derrick Rose. Okay, so now you can move LeBron James back to where he's supposed to be. Okay, and LeBron James is going to have to incorporate all these new faces into the offense. Okay, so yeah, I think midway around January and February, those are going to be Cleveland months. After the All-Star break, you're going to start seeing them win a lot more games than what they're doing. And you're going to see them in a lot of those games stopping the team from scoring, which is their major Achilles' heels, particularly in the fourth quarter. The only reason why they beat the Knicks in the fourth, because the Knicks have the same type of woes, sort of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah, they're athletic, they can score, but they don't really emphasize. Jeff Hornacek is really trying to emphasize and incorporate and embrace them in playing defense. They got to stop teams in the fourth quarter. Okay, a lot of games the Knicks could have won, and they could have a better record than what they have right now if they can slow teams down or just stop them. Okay, and you know, when you have a young team, you go through those growing pains. And over time, it gets better, okay? But when you have a veteran squad and they have that same type of attitude, then it's a problem, okay? But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. It's your boy, Chris the Don 1. I'm out.